Balling every day of the week. Like every
Welcome to Mondial Vibes. The 2026 FIFA World Cup has officially begun with two games in Mexico versus South Africa. We saw a South African side yesterday that lacked ball retention. We saw a South African side that lost possession way too easy. We saw an embarrassing South African side. Even though they had like the defensive organization, but they lacked quality. They lacked whole lot of things yesterday.
Yeah. I think the coach is the one to shoulder a lot of this blame. Hugo Bruce, unlike Hugo Bruce that I know, who likes free flowing attacking football, likes to play out on the back, plays a lot of aggressive attacking football, which we have come to know the South Africans for. Yesterday, he decided to opt for a pragmatic style, and this is the biggest stage. You have to show the best side of your game. Even if you are going to lose, go down swinging. You don't live with your knees on the floor. That's not how to live. You should have come out and played the kind of ball that we know South Africans will play. But it's I think the praises have to go to the Mexicans, who came out playing the kind of football we expected them to play.
Yeah.
They forced the opponents back. They tried to get them on the back foot. They pressed high, and then when they got the ball, they had their wingers, their fullbacks high and wide, which allowed the wingers, Quiñones and the other guy on the other side, to tuck in around Jiménez, which allowed Jiménez, who we know is a very mobile striker, to drop in, allow for runners in behind. And when they pressed, we saw it with the opening goal. They pressed hard, they pressed high, and then they did not allow Sitole, who was the defensive midfielder, to receive the ball and then turn. It was not the best game, seeing that we had three red cards. But the red cards were all merited. I still think the levels of the games in the World Cup can go a notch higher. So South Africans were poor, but Mexicans should pat themselves on the back.
balling every day of the week. Like every balling every day of the week. Like every
All right, let's talk about the game between South Korea versus Czech Republic. We saw a very dominant Korean side offensively, defensively, and creatively. This is evident of the growth in Asian football in recent times. Over the last 2 decades, we've seen how the Asians have been playing very good football, producing very great players like the like of Son Heung-min, the likes of Hwang Ji-bom, and also Kang Lee-in, who created very, very wonderful chances for Son Heung-min, who wasn't able to put his name on the score sheet yesterday. Yeah, what do you think about the game?
I watched the game, and I think it was a very good game. It was an intense game.
End to end.
Yeah, it was an end to end. It wasn't really like end to end all through, like a very chaotic game. It was a very good game that South Korea dominated. Like you said, they were the team who really asserted their dominance on the field. But it was expected because, like we said, I expect Czech Republic to finish bottom of the group. Not because they're a bad footballing nation, but the group already picks itself. And South Korea are, for me, marginally better than Czech Republic. South Korea are marginally better than Czech Republic. They play a very exciting brand of football. Asia has seen very good footballing nations come up. Japan, South Korea, Saudi Arabia, they've been doing really, really well. And we know that South Korea had a very good run in their qualifiers. They played really good football yesterday, dominated the midfield, had a lot of rotations. But we saw sparks in the midfield. Wang Ji-bom and Kangili, we saw Kangili dazzling, playing good football in the midfield. The player from Paris Saint-Germain is expected to make a move because I think the quality he possesses is too much to just sit on the bench and waste away his career. They created some chances for Son Heung-min yesterday, but Son Heung-min is not the Son Heung-min of 5 years ago, so we can make excuses for him. We can make excuses for him, but he gave his best. And when he was replaced in the second half, we saw them more expressive. Wang Ji-bom scored a goal that already is looking like he's going to be a contender for goal of the tournament. A very similar goal to the goal that James Rodriguez scored in the 2014 World Cup. A very brilliant goal at that. So I see South Korea having a very good run. My disappointment with Czech Republic is that
they relied
mostly on set pieces. I cannot fault them for relying on set pieces because physically they are aerially dominant over the South Koreans. The people from Yugoslavia are usually very tall, so they had to rely on where their strengths really lie.
They are the Arsenal of countries.
They are the Arsenal. You can say that again. They had to rely on where their strength really lied. So I saw them played what they could. They did not have exciting players as much. They just had players who could at least put in a shift, run, give legs, Kufal, Suchek, and then Patrick Schick had a good season. Not the best season, but all in all, the game ran exactly as it was supposed to be. Though we who watched the game because it was in the middle of the night. I'm really sorry. A lot of you might not have gotten a hang of waking up in the middle of the night to watch
the
football matches, but know that the matches now will always be around 8, 11, and 2 in the night. Yeah. So please, African time, you should try and like keep up with the pace of the game. One other thing to mention is the players that young players who made entry into the World Cup yesterday. We saw
The South
African young defender Mbokazi, who was this shining light of the
South African team.
rather underwhelming South African team yesterday. And then we saw Gilberto Mora, who came on to become I think the second youngest,
No, he's
the youngest Mexican to feature in the World Cup at 17 years,
17
290 something days. That's very good, and he's touted to get a big move to Europe this summer. So all in all, Mexico came out on top yesterday, and South Korea also in the early hours of this morning. So the World Cup is progressing as we expected, with Mexico currently topping the group, and South Korea in second place. Yeah, with South Africa in fourth, and these guys, Czech Republic in third. We still expect a few things to change. But then we are also looking forward to the games that will be played today. Who are playing today?
Yeah, we have the first match today. The Canadians will be playing Bosnia-Herzegovina by 8 p.m.
Balling every day of the week. Like